Hello everyone. Today I'm here with you all with one of the topic of class 8 maths curriculum, that is probability. In this video we will be learning what probability is, some of the terms related to it and how to solve questions based on the topic. So let's start with the topic, that is your probability. So first of all, let's understand what probability is. In our day to day life, we come across so many sentences when we use maybe, chance, likely, or probably. So, whenever we are using these words, we are not sure about happening of any of the event. Like, suppose I am saying that it may rain today, there is chances that India will win today. So whenever we are using these type of words, we are not sure whether the event will be happening or not. And when we can represent the happening of any of the event quantitatively, we say it to be probability. So what probability is? The chance of happening of an event when expressed quantitatively is called your probability. So when we can express what is going to happen in quantitatively, that means in numbers we can represent it, that what is the chance of happening of any of the event, we say it to be your probability. Now what experiment is? An experiment is an action that can produce some well defined result. The result of experiment is known as your outcome. Whenever we are doing any of the action, suppose we are saying that we are tossing a coin, so it is an action. So we know that the result of tossing a coin will be either coming off your head or coming off your tail. So when we are doing any of the action that can produce some well defined results, it is known as your experiment, and the results are known as your outcome. That means coming off head or coming off tail is your outcome over here. Now what random experiment is? An experiment with more than one possible outcomes, and it is not possible to predict any outcome in advance. All the possible outcomes are known in advance. So the experiments in which there are more than one possible outcome is there. Along with that, whenever we are doing any of the experiment, we cannot be sure that what will be the result, what will be the outcome, although we know what all the possible outcomes are there. Like when we are tossing a coin, we know either head will come or tail will come, but actually when we are tossing a coin, we cannot be sure that head will come, or we cannot be sure that tail will come. Either head will come or tail will come. So when such type of cases are there, such type of experiments are there where we cannot predict that what the outcome will be in advance, but what all possible outcomes are there, that we know. In that type of cases, that type of experiments are known as your random experiment. Like this is one of the example. Another example could be when we are rolling a dice. We know the possible outcomes will be either one will come, or two, or three, or four, or five, or six will come on the dice. These are the possible outcomes. So we know that what all the possible outcomes are there, but we cannot be sure that two will come, or we cannot be sure that three will come. So when we are not sure about, or we cannot predict any of the outcome in advance, but we know all the possible outcomes, such type of experiments are known as your random experiments. Now trial, an action that results in one or several outcomes. When a coin is tossed multiple times, each toss of the coin is a trial. So whenever we are taking any of the action we are talking about that result in either one or several outcomes, such type of actions are known as your trials. Like when we are tossing a coin, multiple times we are tossing a coin, so each time we are tossing the coin is a trial. Every individual time when we are tossing a coin is your trial. Event, each outcome of an experiment is called an event. Like when we are tossing a coin, coming off your head is an event, coming off tail is a event. When we are rolling a dice, coming off 2 is a event, coming off 6 is a event, coming off the even number is an event. So whatsoever the outcomes are there, outcomes of the experiments are there, all these are known as your event. Equally likely events. In random experiments, events which have equal chances of occurring. Whenever we are doing random experiments and we are talking about events which is having equal chances of coming, such type of experiments or events are known as your equally likely events. Like when we are tossing a coin, coming off head is an event, coming of tail is an event, and there are equal chances of coming of head also and coming of tail also. So there are equal chances of coming of head and your tail. So in the random experiments, when we are talking about the events which are having the equal chances of occurring, such type of events are known as your equally likely events. Similarly, if we are rolling a dice, so there are equal chances that one will come, or two, or three, or four, or five, or six will come. There are equal chances of it. So such type of events are known as your equally likely events. Now let's understand how to find probability of any of the event. The formula for finding probability of any of the event is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes of the experiment. When we are dividing the number of favorable outcomes by your total number of outcomes of the experiment, the value which we are getting will give us your probability of the event. Suppose our event is your coming of head is a event. Suppose we have tossed 1,000 times. 1,000 times we have tossed a coin, and out of the 1,000 times, 550 times we got head and 450 times we got tail. This is the number of times we got head, and this is the number of time when we got your tail. So what is the probability of getting a head? So what is the event? Coming of head is a event. So what is the favorable conditions for your coming of the head is 550 times your head has come. And what is the total number of outcomes of the experiment? That is your 1,000 times we have tossed the coin. So total number of possible outcomes was your 1,000, and total number of favorable outcome is your 550. So probability of the event that is coming of head is your 550 divided by 1,000. So whatsoever the numbers we can cut it, we will be doing it. 511 times it is 55, 520 times. So 11 upon 20 will be the probability of coming of the head. Now if the event is coming of the tail is the event, then what will be the probability of the event? Now the probability of the event will be, now the favorable conditions will be your 450, number of favorable outcomes is your 450, and total number of outcomes of the experiment will be your 1,000. So probability will be 450 divided by your 1,000. 0 cancelled, 5 9 is 45, 520 times. So probability will be your 9 over 20. So this is how we can find the probability of any of the event. Now what is your sure event? An event which will surely happen is called a sure event. Like suppose when we are rolling a dice and we are saying what is the probability of getting a number which is less than 7. So whatsoever the number will come, possible outcomes is your either 1 will come, or 2 will come, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6 will come. These are the possible outcomes, and all the possible outcomes are less than 7 only. So that means whatsoever the number will come, it is satisfying your event. All these type of events which is surely to happen, which is 100% sure we are that the event is going to happen, such type of events are known as your sure event, and the probability of the sure event is always 1. The probability for the sure event, over here the event was coming a number which is less than 7. So whatsoever the number will come, it is less than 7 only. So it is sure that it is going to happen. Whatsoever the number will come, it is going to satisfy our event. So such type of events are known as your sure event, and the probability for the sure events is your 1. What is impossible event? An event which will never happen is called impossible event. Suppose the same case I am taking. Suppose we are rolling a die and we are taking the event that the number should be your more than 7, more than 6 you can say. So whatsoever the number is coming, either 1 will come, or 2 will come, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the possible outcomes, but none of the condition is satisfying our event, because our event is getting a number which is more than 6. So none of the number is more than 6. So it is not possible that the event will happen. So when the event is such type which will never happen, such type of events are known as your impossible event, and the probability of an impossible event is your 0, because number of favorable outcome will be 0 in this case. So when numerator is 0, your whole probability will be 0 only. So for impossible event, the events which will not at all possible that it is going to happen, such type of events, probability for those will be your 0. Probability of event can never be less than 0 or more than 1. Probability of any of the event, whichsoever the event we will be talking about, always probability will lie between 0 and 1 only. It can be 0, it can be 1, or it will be in between 0 and 1. It will neither be or negative, or it will not be more than 1. It will lie between 0 and 1 only. It could be 0 for your impossible event, it will be 0. For an sure event, it will be 1. Otherwise, it will lie between your 0 and 1. So this is only the condition which is going to be satisfied for every probability of any of the event. Always and always your probability of any of the event will either be equivalent to 0 or 1, or will lie between 0 and 1. It will never be less than 0. It will never be more than 1. Now let's see some of the questions based on the topic. A letter is chosen from the word pencil. What is the probability that the letter chosen is a consonant? Now consonant it is. So which all alphabets are consonant over here? We know that A, E, I, O, U are your vowels. Rest all are your consonants. So P is a consonant. Your N is also a consonant. C is a consonant, L is a consonant. These four alphabets are consonant, and total possible outcomes are your either P will be chosen or E or N, C, I, L. These are the alphabets which could be chosen. So total possible outcomes. Total possible outcomes will be your 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Any of the 6 alphabets will be chosen, and favorable outcomes will be favorable outcome. Favorable outcome will be the letter which is a consonant is a favorable outcome. So this is favorable, this is favorable, this is favorable, and this is favorable. So favorable outcome is your 4. So the probability of the event is your choosing an alphabet which is a consonant will be number of favorable outcome is your 4, and total number of outcomes of the experiment is your 6. So 4 upon 6 will be the probability, that is your 2 upon 3 will be the probability of the event, and over here the event is the letter chosen is a consonant from the word your pencil. Now let's understand some more questions related to probability. Question is, in a single throw of die, find the probability of getting a number greater than 2, less than or equal to 2, or not greater than 2. So first of all, when we will be throwing a die, what all the possible outcomes is there, we will be writing that. So first of all, possible outcomes will be either 1 will come, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the possible outcomes. These are the 6 possible outcomes. Now, first condition is the number should be greater than 2. The event is the number which is greater than 2. So, if the number is greater than 2, which all numbers will be favorable to it? 3 will be favorable, 4, 5, 6, all these numbers are favorable to the condition. So, the favorable outcomes will be 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 are the favorable outcomes. Favorable outcomes will be either 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the favorable outcomes, and the number of favorable outcomes is your 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 upon total number of possible outcome is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the possible outcomes. So 4 by 6, that is your 2 by 3 will be the probability. Now the second part is less than or equal to 2, either less than 2 or equal to 2. So what all the favorable conditions will be? Either 1 will be favorable or 2 will be favorable. Either 1 will come or 2 will come, then only they will be less than or equal to 2. So if probability is your E, probability of the event E will be total number of favorable outcome, that is 1 and 2. 2 are the favorable outcome, and total possible outcome is your 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is 6. So it will be probability will be your 1 upon 3. The third part is not greater than 2. Number should not be greater than 2. Means 2 will go, but not greater than 2. So again the favorable outcomes will be either 1 or 2 will be the favorable outcome, because 1 and 2 both are not greater than 2, but 2 will go. So probability of the event will be number of favorable outcomes is your 2, and total number of possible outcome is your 6. So probability will be your 1 upon 3. So the next question is, a bag contains 3 white, 5 black, 2 red balls of the same size. A ball is drawn from the bag without looking into it. Find the probability that the ball drawn is a black ball, red ball, white ball, not red ball, not a black ball. So first of all, what all are the possible outcomes? First of all, what we will be writing is possible outcomes. Total 3 white balls plus 5 black balls plus 2 red balls. These are the possible outcomes. We are picking any of the ball. So any of the ball could come. So total number of balls is 3 plus 5 will be 8. 8 plus 2 will be your 10. Total number of possible outcome is your 10. Out of 10 balls, we need to pick any of the ball. So any possible outcomes, total number of possible outcome will be total of all the balls, that is your 10 balls. Now the first condition is the ball should be your black ball. So black ball, if we are talking about the event says your ball should be your black. So how many black balls are there? 5 black balls are there. So favorable conditions are your 5 black balls are your favorable condition. So event, probability of the event will be your 5 black balls is your favorable condition, that is your 5 over total possible outcomes is your 10. Total favorable outcome is your 5, that is 5 balls. Out of these 5 balls, if any of the ball is picked, it is your favorable to the condition. So favorable outcomes is your 5 and total possible outcome is your 10. So probability will be your 1 upon 2. Second is probability of getting a red ball. Red ball is your favorable condition. So red ball, how many red balls we are having? 2. So favorable outcomes is your 2 red balls is your favorable outcome. How many favorable outcomes we do have? We are having your 2 red balls is your favorable outcome. So probability will be, if any of these 2 red balls will be picked, it will be favorable. So total number of favorable outcome is 2 and total possible outcome is your 10. So probability of the event will be your 1 upon 5. Third part is getting a white ball. Now white ball, how many favorable conditions are there? 3 white balls are there. So favorable condition is your picking any of these 3 white balls is your favorable condition. Now probability will be number of favorable condition, that is your 3, and total number of possible outcomes is your 10. So 3 upon 10 will be the probability of the event. Event is your getting a white ball. Now the next part, that is your fourth part, is not red ball. Not red ball means this should not be there. White ball will go and your black ball will even go. So total favorable outcomes will be 3 white ball plus your 5 black balls, because ball should not be red. This is the event. So favorable conditions will be, favorable outcomes will be either of the 3 white balls or 5 black balls will be picked. That will be your favorable outcome. So total number of favorable outcome is 5 plus 3, that is your 8, and total possible outcome is your 10. So 8 by 10, that is 2 4 is 8, 2 5 is 10, 4 by 5 will be the probability of getting a ball which is not red in color. Now the fifth part is not a black ball. Black ball should not be there. White ball will go or your red ball will go. So favorable will be either your 3 white ball or your 2 red balls. This is your favorable outcome. So total number of favorable outcome is 3 white balls or 2 red balls means 5. 5 is your favorable outcome. So probability will be 5 is your favorable outcome and total number of possible outcome is your 10. That is your probability will be your 1 upon 2 will be the probability of getting a ball which is not black in color. Now the next question is, 2 coins are tossed together. Find the probability of getting exactly 1 tail, at least 1 head, no head, at most 1 head. First of all, what all possible outcomes are there, we will be writing it, because 2 coins are tossed together. So it is possible that on both the coins we are having your head. It is possible on the first we are getting head, on the second we are getting tail. On the first we are getting tail, on the second we are getting head, or on both the coins we are getting tail. These are the 4 possible outcomes. Total number of possible outcomes when we will be tossing 2 coins will be either on both the coins we will be getting head, or on the first coin we'll be getting head, on the second we'll be getting tail, on the first we'll be getting tail, on the second we'll be getting head, or on both the coins we are getting tail. These are the four possible outcomes. Now, the first condition is exactly one tail. Exactly one tail. What is the favorable conditions over here? Favorable outcomes are HT. On the first we are getting head, on the second we are getting tail, or tail head. In both the two conditions we are having exactly one tail. In this we are not having any of the tail. In this we are having two tails. So probability of getting exactly one tail will be, probability will be, total number of favorable outcome is your 2, total divided by total number of possible outcome, that is your 4. That is probability will be your 1 upon 2. Second, at least one head. At least one head should be there. That means two head will also go. But it is not the condition when there is no head. It should not be included in it. At least one head. This is having one head. This is having one head. This is having two head. That will even go because at least one should be there, but two will also go. So favorable outcomes are your head, tail, tail, head. These are your favorable outcomes because in all these conditions we are having at least one head. So probability of the event will be total number of favorable outcome, that is your 1, 2, 3, divided by total number of possible outcome, that is your 4. 3 upon 4 will be the probability. The next is your no head. Head should not be there. Probability of getting no head. Where there is no head, only this is the condition when we are not having any of the head. So favorable outcome will be your tail, tail. If this is the outcome, then this will be your favorable outcome. This is the favorable outcome. So probability of getting this will be favorable. Total number of favorable outcome is 1 and total number of possible outcome is your 4. So probability of getting no head will be your 1 upon 4. The next is your at most one head. That means maximum of one head should be there. Two heads should not be there. Either no head will also go or at the most there should be one head only. So favorable outcomes will be either we are getting head tail, tail head or tail tail. These are the favorable outcomes because at most one head should be there. Maximum of one head should be there. So 0 head will also go or 1 head will also go. So in this condition there is no head, this will also go. But this condition will not go because it is having your 2 heads. So number of favorable outcome is your 1, 2, 3. 3 favorable outcomes are there and probability of this will be total number of favorable outcome is your 3 and total number of possible outcome is your 4. So probability of getting at most one head will be your 3 upon 4. This is how using the formula we can solve questions. We can find the probability of various events. Formula used will be probability of any of the event will be total number of possible favorable outcome divided by total number of possible outcome. In the numerator we will be taking total number of favorable outcome which will satisfy our event, and in the denominator we will be taking total number of possible outcomes which all are the possible in your event. So this is how we can solve the questions. This is all from this chapter. Hope it is clear to you. Soon we'll be coming with the more videos related to maths. Thank you.